Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm just going to demystify the ways that AliExpress often offers to ship from the US or any other locations that are not in China so that you allegedly have better shipping times so that you can have 3-day shipping or 7-day shipping or something like that. And I wanted to give you my take on that a little bit because oftentimes it's not true. And I see a lot of people teaching and say, hey, if you order from AliExpress and just make sure that they have a warehouse locally somewhere, like somewhere domestically, right? So that you don't have these crazy shipping times. Now, I want to get on the ground a little bit. So anyone who's new to this channel, my name is Niels Older, and I'm living in China now for 7 years. So I know the one or other thing about Chinese mentality, or why sometimes things are done the way that they are done, and handled the way they are handled. So on AliExpress, a lot of times or the background behind, having a warehouse somewhat domestically where then people can ship from, where AliExpress suppliers can ship from and fulfill your orders from. The idea is great. The idea is cool. The idea is really cool to say, hey, I'm a supplier and I have my products in China, but instead of just fulfilling them from China and having these crazy shipping times, I just have a warehouse then in the US, and you as a buyer can just buy from me and I ship from the US or from Europe or wherever. So the idea is great. The problem is that there's very little control on if that's true or not. So there's a lot of pretentiousness. Right? There are a lot of suppliers that pretend that they have a warehouse in the US, but actually they don't have one. So if you filter the suppliers, and they know that now all the people that filter the suppliers filter by the criteria and say only show me suppliers that can ship from the US. So what all the suppliers do is they say, oh, we do it. We ship from the US. We have a warehouse in the US. We can do that for you. And that is a very good tactic to be found, because if they don't do that, then they're not found anymore. And we have the same situation here with housing agents. So I'm going to go there in a little bit and just give you an example to explain the mentality behind this. So you find the factory and you see that they ship from the US. Great. And then when you actually order something and ship, then they say, oh, right now, we're out of stock in the US. How about we ship from China? Right? So you have this situation, and seemingly it happens all the time that all of a sudden everyone's out of stock and we have to, then ship from China anyway. But then the supplier already has you in the door. The supplier already made contact with you. The supplier already has you in the door, really. And that's all they want. They just need people in the door. And the mentality isn't a long-term thinking of saying, hey, the customer might feel screwed and then they won't do business with me. No, that there's no thinking like that. The thinking is a different one. And I explained that with a housing agency here. Okay. So when I moved, I think 5 or 6 times in the last 7 years between different areas of the city. And oftentimes when we move, we hire a housing agent or real estate agent, right? So we look online for apartments. So we look, hey, what are nice apartments? What can we afford? What looks good? Etc. Etc. So we look through, and man, there's so many cool apartments. It's like, oh, this one looks nice, that one looks nice, and they're all within our budget. That's awesome, right? And every single time when we call up the agent and we say, hey, we saw this place that you advertise online, we would love to have a look because we want to rent it. And they say, oh, that place? We just rented that out. But I can show you something else. I can show you something that is exactly the same, that has the same features, the same square meters, the same, interior. It looks great, and it has the same price range. Cool. Then you meet them, and that is all they want. They just want you in the door, and then you meet them, and then they bring you to all of these places, and all of these places suck. They're in different areas. They're half the size. They're twice the price, and the interior is horrible, right? But because everyone is doing these bait and switch things, everyone is doing the bait, that the normal guy who's just honest can't break through the noise. And it's the same on AliExpress. All the guys that are advertising, hey, we can ship from the US. Well, they kind of need to do that, because if they don't do it, they don't get business. They don't get anyone, right? And because everyone is doing this, if you are not doing this and if you play by the rules, then you actually become the loser of the game. And that is why a lot of times you have this situation, or sometimes they say, yes, we have inventory. So every time, here's my tip for you, and that's what I actually wanted to tell you today. Okay, so every time when you contact an AliExpress supplier and they claim that they can ship from a certain warehouse, just ask them. So say, hey, do you have inventory in the US? And then oftentimes they say, yes, of course we do. And then I say, hey, okay, I want to place an order. Can I order 100 pieces from your warehouse? And then I say, oh, 100 pieces? No, we don't have 100 pieces in stock. That's a problem, right? So then you can say, okay, now I know. Great, then you can move on and find the next suppliers. So with this little question asking for 100 units or for 500 units, with that you can check if they have that. Sometimes they send 1 or 2 units and they claim it's from the US and they just send it from China and they pretend it's from America, but So you don't want to go down that route. So first just ask them, like, hey, do you ship from the US? Yes. Do you have, and you need to ask them these specific questions. Do you ship from the US? Yes. Do you have inventory in the US? Yes or no, because just because they ship from the US and they told you, yes, we can ship from the US, does not mean that they actually do it. Okay. So do you ship from the US? Do you have stock? How many units do you have in stock right now? Can I order 100 pieces today? How long will the shipping be? What's the shipping price? And then if the shipping takes longer than 7 days, you know something's wrong, right? If you know that if you see the shipping prices all of a sudden goes up to $20 to $25, well, then you also know something's up, right? So, and this way you just have to manually filter through all of the stuff. I know AliExpress is so nice, convenient, right? You just go and you're like, okay, I want this one, boop, that's it. That's the whole process in choosing a supplier, really. But there's an alternative to that. So if you don't want to use the Alibaba supplier, right now is the perfect time to use local domestic wholesalers. They're European wholesalers, USA wholesalers, Australian wholesalers that have products that already buy from China in bulk, and they store all of these items. So if you want to drop ship now, you can now find all of these people, but you might have to contact 10 people or 20 companies that say, hey, we do drop shipping, we have products in the US. You can find them. You just need to Google them and then just call them up and see what they charge for the drop shipping, if you can work out a deal, if you can even buy from them. Oftentimes they say, oh, we can only work with people with business experience. But that, for me, because it takes a little bit more effort to do that, because of that, for me personally, this is the greatest option, the greatest opportunity right now, because all your competitors are not doing this. All your competitors are stuck on AliExpress and are complaining about the long shipping times, are complaining about, oh, COVID-19 is shutting down my business. You need to put the extra effort in and actually find a supplier, because if you find a domestic supplier, they can just ship from within the country and they have 3-day shipping time or 7-day shipping time. You might pay a little order fee, but the little order fee and the amount that you pay more for the price domestically, that is completely made up again by saving the shipping costs from China. And you have the quick shipping time. So you actually make your customers happy, and then once they're happy, you can sell them something again. Isn't that a cool possibility? So why not just sacrifice $1 or $2 in the beginning because your product is a bit more expensive from these domestic wholesalers, but therefore actually make a customer happy, actually treat a customer well, and actually provide value, and then be able to sell them again. I know it's a little bit of a crazy idea, sell customers again, making them happy. Niels, come on, what you're talking about? I just want to set up my business in 5 minutes and make some money. That's all I want to do. If that's what you want to do, sorry, this channel is not for you. Okay, in this channel we actually want to do long-term business. So if you want to learn more about this, if you want to learn more about the ways that we do it differently, where we actually go in and keep selling to customers, where we actually change the business model from drop shipping up eventually to bulk orders to grow the business, and how we manage to find winning products that are winning for more than just 3 months, and that you can sell long term, and that you don't have to constantly find new suppliers for. If you want to know how that works and a few more things, then I invite you to a web class. Okay, the web class is the only thing you have to do is press the link below in the description. There's a web class coming up. You can register today. The web class will be up in one of these 2 days. It's a no-cost web class. You can join for free. It's an hour where I go very deep into all of the things that we do differently in our businesses and our e-commerce businesses, and how I replace my full-time income with just starting with dropshipping and then just selling e-commerce products within a month. Because if you set it up right, you're not losing money on advertisement. You're not constantly having to chase, the new winning product. You're not competing with everyone else on the trendy products. And I want to show you how, because I think you deserve to do it the right way. And I really want to help you not to fail, because it took me years to figure this stuff out. And in the process, we burned probably $150,000 in just testing out different things. So many lessons learned. So many times where the fridge was empty and then you look in the wallet and the wallet is empty too. And you're like, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do. So I had a lot of these times. And over the last 4 or 5 years, tried my hands at so many different things. So in this web class, I basically give you all my knowledge that I gathered over the last 4 years. Everything I know, all the secrets that I know. You should join that. Okay, so just go in the link, head over to the link below, register now, and I'll see you when the class is up. So make sure to subscribe to this channel, make sure to like this channel as well, or this video, if you got some value out of this. And like I say, if you wanna know anything else, leave me a comment. Ask me a question from the comment. Just say, hey Niels, ask me your question, and then I will be answering that in a video here on YouTube for you, and also then to make it visible for the whole community so we can actually all benefit from each other's questions. So just let me know what you want to know, and I'll let you know what I know.